So we moved out here to this beautiful property, and the question that I keep getting about self-sustainability is, Jamie, are you guys going to have a garden this year? Well, the answer is yes and no. Let me explain. So those of you guys that have watched the tour of our property know that we currently only have 3 places that are cleared that would be somewhat appropriate for a garden. The first one is the meadow, except that area is almost always entirely in shade. The second area is the prairie. This place is going to be beautiful and perfect for having a garden. That's probably where we're going to have our future garden. But right now it has very tall grass. It's overgrown. There is a lot of brush in there that needs to get burned and dealt with. And so that's not a great place for a garden right now. Plus there's the water issue. And then the third place is in front of our house where the previous owners had had a garden the past 5 years. This would be a great place, except we are currently rotating our chickens and our pigs in that area. And right now Jeremy just put a whole solar array in that area. So there's really no room for a garden. Now, of course, there's the option of doing some sort of bucket garden or whatnot and getting a few vegetables here and there. But I was approached by a friend of mine who had a better solution, and that is garden sharing. So sometime around January, my friend Amy from Heritage Hills Farm approached me and wanted to know if I would be interested in what is known as garden sharing. She doesn't have all the time to dedicate to managing and taking care of a garden full time, and she wanted to know if we would be interested in helping her out with hers and also sharing in what we produce. And so that's what we're doing. I'm going to give you a tour of our garden. Come on in, I'll show you the garden. So through the winter, Amy had her cows in this area, and then she moved them to a different pasture, and we fenced this area off, potted it all up, and planted a garden. We have both a spring garden and a summer garden. Our spring garden is just about done here. We have a couple cabbages left, and we have a few onions that are probably about done by now. They're starting to bolt. All right, so we have several rows of corn. We have 2 different types of corn planted here, peaches and cream, and I can't remember the other one. We also grew some Great Pyrenees. If anybody's looking for some male Great Pyrenees pups, reach out to Amy at Heritage Hills Farm. She's got these little cuties available. They're about 7.5 weeks old right now. Sweet as can be.
Aww. Good little boys.
In this area we have about 4 rows of potatoes. We have 2 rows of Yukon Gold and 2 rows of russet potatoes. Right here is our summer squash. We have some yellow squash and some zucchinis. This area here is all of our pepper plants. Looks like it's about to rain. These poor little guys need a little bit of water, but we have bell peppers in here, cayenne peppers, and jalapeno. These are our tomato plants. I believe we have over 40 tomato plants of different heirloom varieties, from Romas all the way up to indeterminates, such as Cherokee Purple, and oh gosh, we just have so many tomato plants in here. On my right over here, we have all of our cucumber plants. We're growing a white cucumber variety. And over on my left-hand side, there are like 4 or 5 rows of green beans. Back here, we have some okra plants. And right here we have some sunburst squash, which is a type of patty pan squash. We have those planted over by the chicken coop as well. On my right over here we have some cantaloupes, and on my left we have some watermelons.
Those are cabbages.
Watermelon.
Oh.
And then we have a strawberry patch that is now done for the season, and then also in another area we have a bunch of greens that are kind of sort of on their way out at this point. It's starting to rain and our plants need it this week. A couple weeks ago we had about 2.5 weeks of rain, and a lot of our plants had suffered from it from both too much water and also from all the bugs that came out because of it. But right now we're in a little bit of a dry spell and some of our plants need some of this moisture. For those of you guys that have watched some of my previous gardening videos know that this is a different style than what I'm used to. I'm used to deep mulch, and of course there are benefits to deep mulch where you don't have to water and hoe as much. The downside to deep mulch that I have found in this particular, or in our old area, was a lot of bugs and a lot of voles. We're doing bare earth here, and you can see that things are growing pretty darn well around here. The downside to bare earth is a whole lot of hoeing. But I can tell you that garden sharing really is working out for us, because it's a whole lot more fun to share in the work, and then of course share in all the produce and goodies that you get from the garden as well. So I just wanted to share with you guys what I've been doing around here. And yes, we do have a garden, sort of. We're sharing it with a neighbor. This is a great way for me to see what kind of plants work in this area, and also to experience a different type of gardening than what I'm used to. And I can tell you that I learned a whole lot of things by gardening underneath Amy. So we're just basically taking her approach for this garden, and I'm kind of taking her lead and just helping her out, and I get the benefit of some goodies. So there you go, guys. That wraps it up for our garden for 2018. I just wanted to do a quick video to show you what we're doing here. If you guys are in an area where you don't have the ability to garden on your property, or you don't have the space for whatever reason, maybe you can find somebody near you that you can share in the gardening work. And I can tell you that it's wonderful. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. We'll see you in the next video. We're going to be doing a video on chicks. We just got a whole box of chicks in. And we're going to be doing some rain barrels and a whole bunch of other things. So stick with us and we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.
Nom 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 nom.